報のドラムが聞こえる。ジョイボーイが現住種モデル2か。
There are anime characters who get popular, and then there's Luffy, a man who's been breaking the internet since before half of us even had Wi-Fi. Every few years, he drops a new moment that sends the fandom into meltdown, from declaring war on the world government to turning into a literal cartoon god. Let's take a look at some of the best moments when our Straw Hat Captain broke the internet. Let's start with a heartwarming moment when Luffy gives Nami his straw hat. You ever seen a moment so simple, yet so powerful, that it makes you sit in stunned silence? That's what happened when Luffy handed Nami his hat. No grand speeches, no dramatic music, just trust. Nami's bawling, Luffy's calm, and suddenly the entire internet is in tears. The hat isn't just a hat anymore, it's a promise. Don't worry, I got you. It's the first real moment where you feel like, yeah, this goofy rubber guy might actually be Captain Material. And remember, this is the hat that Luffy treasures so dearly that he wouldn't let anyone have it, but he did. He gave it to Nami. That quiet little handoff, legendary. Still hits like a truck. Up next is Luffy versus Arlong. Arlong was this big fish man who thought he had everything in control. When Luffy got to know that Arlong had messed with Nami's life, he wasn't having it. The moment he started wrecking Arlong Park felt like years of pain exploding all at once. When he slammed his foot through the room where Nami was forced to draw maps, I swear I heard every fan scream in unison. It wasn't just about beating a villain, it was about saying never again. Every punch was revenge for Nami's trauma, and we loved every second of it. When an anime game says first anniversary update, usually you expect a few freebies and that's it. But our sponsors, Girls Frontline 2 Exilium, went, nah, take everything. Honestly, whether you're a new player or someone who already quit, playing GFL2 once a year is enough because this update is stacked. We're talking 130 plus pulls, 13,000 plus collapse pieces, free outfits, and 2 brand new dolls, Leva and Lena from the original 404 squad. And yes, they're electric, literally. Leva converts excess damage into raw electric output, while Lena buffs your whole team and debuffs enemies. But let's be real, the actual reason why we're here? The graphics. I checked this game out back in July and I'm still impressed by the 3D animation. It uses that sweet NPR and PBR technology to make a 3D strategy RPG look better than most anime airing this season. And the part that surprised me the most? The new crew deck area. It's a fully 3D interactive space where you can explore armories and experience free interactive story modes like Makiatto's. Plus, you get 35 free outfit permissions to help you unlock Qiuhua's new Cerulean Breaker outfit and her own interactive story scene. It feels less like a menu and more like your own anime base. So if you've been away from the game, now's the perfect return point. Download Girls Frontline 2 Exilium right now using the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Try it before Leva cooks your entire team.
誰だと思ってやる。さあブルースペザード。デザート。
Remember when Luffy absolutely refused to give up against Crocodile in Alabasta? Let's talk about that. Desert fights hit different, man. Crocodile was this untouchable warlord with a literal sandstorm of hacks, and Luffy, just a stubborn rubber kid who refused to stay down. He got stabbed, poisoned, and buried alive. Dude basically speedran a death checklist, but every time he came back swinging. The final round, Luffy was soaking his fists in water to punch through Crocodile's sand like it was nothing. He didn't just beat a warlord, he drowned the dude's ego. Fans were losing their minds. Memes, AMVs, the whole internet was just Gomu Gomu, no way he won that. Peak underdog energy. How can we miss out on the final fight with Enel? Oh, this man was so full of himself. Mr. Lightning God with a god complex and zero chill. He felt so powerful when he struck that attack on Luffy, only to realize that Luffy literally walked into his thunderstorm and said, nah. Rubber versus electricity. It's a free win, baby. And when Enel realized his powers didn't work, that face, internet gold to date. Luffy smacking a god with a giant gold bell was the kind of nonsense that we live for. The whole fight was cartoon logic meets anime drama, and it worked. People still think about that punch like it cured them. Absolutely iconic. Before we had bursts of power, there was this fight. Luffy versus Rob Lucci in Eni's lobby. This was pure pain in HD. Luffy was getting rocked by Lucci, who looked like he ate a gym for breakfast, but Luffy just kept getting up. Bruised, bleeding, barely breathing, but not backing down. Every punch he threw was desperation, and that scream, the one where he yells for Robin, still gives me chills, you know. You felt every hit, every gasp. It wasn't a flashy battle, it was raw, ugly emotion. And when Luffy started pushing back, we were cheering like idiots. That's when we all knew, this dude's not just the hero, he's the heart of the crew. Oh man, the first time we saw Gear 4, we had no idea what was coming. I remember watching Luffy just starting to inflate like a balloon animal on pre-workout, and suddenly, boom, Bound Man. Dude's bouncing off the air, throwing punches that sound like cannons. I mean, it looked goofy at first, but then he started smashing. Every hit felt like a mini explosion. I think at some point we were just like, wait, this works? And yeah, it did work. It was Luffy's first true flex in the new world, and we were all here for it. Every punch became a missile, every kick a cannon blast. Bound Man came out swinging, and the internet never looked back. And then we have Luffy versus Katakuri. Katakuri had future sight, insane power, and perfect hair. And Luffy, he was outclassed from minute one. But instead of giving up, he learned and evolved. Mid-fight, got punched, stood up. Got stabbed, stood up. Then boom, Snake Man. That form change was like watching your favorite underdog turn the tables live. And when Katakuri finally acknowledged Luffy as an equal, tears. Yeah, actual tears. Katakuri's perfect haki met Luffy's unpredictable soul. Fans were freaking out. When Luffy finally landed the decisive blow, it felt like winning a high-stakes game none of us fully understood. It wasn't about winning, it was about earning respect. And Luffy, he earned all of ours.
お前もだ。
腰抜け。
腰抜け。おい、
ビッグママ。 Mama. Big Mama!
You ever picked a fight you know you can't win? That was Luffy versus Big Mom. She's a literal monster, and he's out here throwing fists like it's just Tuesday. If she was a mountain of cake and thunder, Luffy was a single straw at the top trying to dance. Every clash felt like it was bending the rules of the world. The dude had no chance, but he still stepped up, and that's what made it special. Luffy didn't back down from a Yonko. He ran at her with everything he had, and even when it wasn't enough, he made a dent. This was Luffy showing guts over logic, and we loved him for it. Wano's final act was the biggest finale. Rooftop brawls have never been this insane. Luffy vs Kaido was straight up chaos. Punches breaking the sky, haki flying like fireworks, and Luffy smiling through it all. Kaido's this indestructible dragon god, and Luffy is just vibing with a dream and some stretchy limbs. Every time Kaido knocked him down, Luffy bounced back harder. By the third round, fans were screaming at their screens, and that final moment when Luffy looked death in the face and said, nah, goosebumps. We didn't just watch a fight, we witnessed history's thunder. It was the fight of the series, hands down. We watched a rubber boy become a legend. Hey, just here reminding you to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you.
解放のドラムが聞こえる。ジョイボーイが。 現住種モデル2か
Nobody was ready for Gear 5. When Luffy unlocked Gear 5th, reality itself seemed to glitch. Like dudes grabbing lightning, turning his eyes into spirals, bouncing reality like a trampoline. It was peak One Piece madness, and it worked. The internet exploded, Twitter broke. People who hadn't watched it in years came back just to see it. Gear 5 wasn't just a transformation, it was Oda unhinged. It was joy, chaos, and freedom all rolled into one grinning weirdo. And when Luffy laughed like a lunatic mid-fight, it felt like a fever dream of superpowers. For that moment, One Piece became a personal carnival of chaos. That's when we knew this was something new, something unforgettable.
処刑済ませないとね。
あららとうとうここまで
堂々としちょるの。
小僧
Marineford was war, and Luffy just ran into the middle of it like it was another Tuesday. No plan, no backup, just I need to save my brother. And the admirals, literal monsters. The war for Ace's life already felt like an inferno, but then Luffy did the unthinkable. He dodged lasers, tanked hits, and kept moving. Even when he got crushed, he crawled forward. Watching him fight gods with zero fear, he wasn't the strongest, but damn, he was the loudest. The internet couldn't keep up. Every episode was a roller coaster, and Luffy was in the front seat screaming all the way.
やれそれを俺が止められねえとでも見ろ白ひげ
やめろやめろやめろ
おいおいマジか
驚いたね。
This was the oh snap heard around the world. Luffy is trying to reach Ace, and suddenly, boom! A burst of red lightning drops dozens of dudes instantly. Everyone stops. Even the admirals take notice. That's Conqueror's Haki, baby. Luffy didn't even know he did it. For a single breathtaking second, all eyes were on Luffy. That raw power wasn't just intimidation, it was a final plea, a declaration of fierce will. Fans though, well, we lost it. This wasn't just power, it was destiny. Even hardened Marines stepped back in awe, feeling the raw heat of a king's spirit. The moment felt huge, like the world just shifted a little. People were rewinding, theorizing, losing sleep over it, and Luffy, he just kept running, totally clueless. Classic. That one blast changed everything.
あのバッジを見ろ海賊どもこれが世界だ
ソゲキングあの旗撃ち抜け
視察ファイヤーバードスタ
望むところだロビンイエーイ行きたい
A simple flame spoke louder than words, burning their whole symbol. The world government wanted to erase the Devil Child, aka Nico Robin. Wrong move, world government, because you just pissed off our captain. What did Luffy do? He set it on fire. Yeah, I know it was Sogeking who set it on fire, but at Luffy's order, okay? And it was legendary. It wasn't just rebellion, it was an insult to the whole system. You took Robin? Fine. We're not playing nice anymore. The crew backing him up, the Marines freaking out, the slow pan to that burning cloth. It was pure cinema. This was Luffy drawing a line with fire. One of the most punk rock moments in anime, period.
10万の敵まさに驚き仰天
一人頭1万人ぶっ倒さなきゃならねえ感情か。おいルフィ
ルフィ君4億の首俺がもらったさあ行くか畜生一瞬で半分やられたぞ
これくらいやってもらわねえと。
どういう王になろうと勝手だけどな。海賊の王者は一人で十分だ。
Up next, we have Luffy versus the Fishmen. Everyone's gearing up for a war on Fishman Island. Tensions are high, enemies everywhere, and Luffy, he just walks forward, calm, focused. Then, without lifting a finger, half the enemy army collapses like puppets with cut strings. 50,000 fishmen gone in an instant, all from one silent flex of Conqueror's haki. No scream, no command, just presence. The moment the dust settles, jaws drop. Even his own crew's like, yo, what just happened? And Luffy, he casually shrugs it off like it's Tuesday. Was he showing off with what he'd learned? Just a tad bit. Luffy was calm, we weren't. That was the moment everyone realized Luffy wasn't just back, he was different, stronger, unshakable, and now he had the king's presence to prove it.
そうかスプリング勝ったホッパーベラミが消えたあいつらが友達だって何が黄金鏡何が空島だ
パンチの打ち方を知ってるかって
あばよ麦わら
This entry was so satisfying. So Bellamy was talking trash, making fun of dreams and bouncing around like a pinball, and Luffy is just standing there. Then bam, one punch, fight over, no build up, no drama, just pure disrespect. A single punch rewrote instant karma. That hit was so clean, it echoed through the fandom for years. It was the anime equivalent of a mic drop. Everyone watching screamed, some cheered, some just rewound it over and over again. It was absurdly hilarious and flawlessly on character. The ultimate lesson in humility moment. Bellamy learned a valuable lesson that day. Don't mess with a dreamer. That one hit summed up Luffy. Simple, confident, badass.
俺に挑むか
危ねえ逃げろウシ
なんとあっけない力の差は歴然あ倒れた
Big dude, big punch, that's pretty much it. On Dressrosa's battlefield, Luffy faced Hajirudin's giant might with a casual grin. Luffy versus Hajirudin was short, sweet, and stupidly satisfying. Hajirudin burst into action with laser-fast punches, like a bullet train colliding with a boulder. Imagine a giant literally charging towards you, and you're not even half his size, like an ant in front of an elephant. And Luffy, well, he just winds up and sends him flying like a baseball. Hajirudin was knocked out. Oh yeah, it happened. Sometimes less is more, and this was one of those those times. No flashy moves, no gear upgrades, just raw strength. For one wild moment, it felt like time slowed down as Luffy won in style. Luffy's knockout broke more than Hajruddin's jaw. It shattered the internet's sanity.
巨人を仕留めたい。ただただタコがただただただただ。待ってくれ。ダメだ。怒るな。お前ムカつく。その目はなんだい。やめてくれ。何する気だ。本気か。お前もムカつくい。
This one lives rent-free in every One Piece fan's brain. In Sabaody, Luffy did the impossible. After seeing a celestial dragon's cruelty, he flew into a blind rage. Before anyone could believe it, Luffy launched a right hook, monstrous and righteous, straight at the godly tyrant. The punch landed like thunder on glass. In that instant, the entire world went silent. No pirate had ever dared lay a hand on those untouchables. It was pure defiance. Luffy alone dared to snub the highest tyranny, and for the record, the punch was the loudest hallelujah the internet had ever heard. It wasn't just satisfying, it was justice. Luffy didn't just punch a guy, he punched a system, and we cheered like maniacs.
いや、セカンド。ジェットピストル。
全く見えん。
やれ。ミサイル。
エアドア。ドア。でっこい。
At Enies lobby, Luffy's fight with Blueno went full adrenaline mode. Blueno was flinging doors like frisbees and Luffy got sick of it. Oh man, the gear second reveal. Blueno's chilling, thinking he's got it in the bag, and Luffy just starts steaming. Literally. Then boom, he's gone. Like blink and miss it fast. Punches landing before Blueno can react. The music, the speed, the attitude, it all screamed level up. Luffy basically declared that no gate could hold him. For a short moment, the world faded. It was just Luffy and pure adrenaline. Gear second hit like a truck full of hype. Still one of the cleanest transformations in anime ever. And there you have it. Moments when Luffy broke the internet. If I've missed any of your favourite Luffy moments, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see a similar video and any of your favourite characters, then do let me know. Give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next one.